expect it's going to be a fairly bumpy period in U.S.-European relations. My guess is if the United States were to apply new tariffs on Europe, that the European Union would retaliate, and we could find ourselves in something of a trade war. And on the defense side, I agree, Europe needs to do more in terms of its own defense spending. But if you go back to 2014, that's when NATO countries agreed that they should each spend up to 2% of their gross domestic product on defense. In 2014, three countries met that standard. Today, 23 or 24 of the 32 NATO members meet that. And that's a credit to Obama, to Trump, to Biden. But when he talks about 5%, I mean, bear in mind the US only spends about 3.3% of its gross domestic product on defense. So I wonder if 5% is a bargaining position. I think more reasonably, if you could get Europe to go to 3%, that would in fact devote significantly greater resources to defense. But we'll have to see whether that would be something that would please Mr. Trump in the end. But it's not just about money. NATO's only invoked Article 5 one time in its history, and that was after 9/11 to defend the United States. And while, in the course of 20 years of fighting in Afghanistan, we lost about 2,400 American service personnel. What doesn't get covered in America is NATO countries lost 1,000 troops fighting alongside the Americans. Those countries were only in Afghanistan because they were allies. So I think it's a mistake just to look at them in, transactional terms. I would argue that one of the assets the United States has on the global stage is this network of allies and partnerships with NATO, with Europe, with Japan, South Korea, Australia. Those are all force multipliers. Those are good things. And I don't think Mr. Trump fully appreciates just how much they add to American security. On a per capita basis, more Danish soldiers died in Afghanistan than American soldiers. Denmark has been one of those allies that's been prepared to step up when we need assistance. First of all, Denmark has jurisdiction over Greenland, although Greenland has a certain degree of autonomy. But there was a poll conducted last week, 85% of the people of Greenland that did not want to become a part of the United States. And the idea that he would even say military options are on the table for dealing with an ally like this, that's got to do damage. It's got to do damage to the relationship with Denmark, but I think it's also causing other Europeans and other American allies and partners to say, what kind of a Washington is it that they're now going to have to deal with?